All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to the Nation Network. Saturday morning superstars, a very special edition indeed, as we bring you all the action from the Boston Garden. And this week, we've got some tremendous names, which include the likes of Sergeant Slaughter as he'll face off against Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, he's a couple of French fries short of a Happy Meal, if you know what I'm talking about. And I think Sergeant Slaughter is going to take that big redneck behind the woodshed and show him exactly what it's like to be inducted into the Cobra Corps.
Well, be that as it may, we'll have to wait and see. We've got some great tag team action coming your way in just a moment to kick us off for the Tag Team Championship, I might add. Also in the house tonight, Gorilla Monsoon will be in action, going up against the High Chief, Peter Maivia.
Well, since coming on the scene here Saturday mornings, Gorilla has been one heck of a powerful force. He's a big man and a lot to take care of, no two ways about that.
Our main event here in Boston, ladies and gentlemen, the last time these two men met one-on-one was Madison Square Garden. They literally tore the house down. Tonight, it'll end when there's only one man left standing. Of course, we are talking about Andre the Giant and, of course, his opponent, Abdullah the Butcher.
Well, I'll say this right now, the Grand Wizard has his men all honed and ready for action. Doesn't matter who, doesn't matter when, doesn't matter where. But I can promise you one thing right now. Tonight might be the last night we ever see Andre the Giant.
Well, very possibly. It does seem like those rules in particular might lend themselves to Abdullah the Butcher. Fans, there's only one way to find out. That's to head up to the ring for all the action. We're going to kick it off with the tag team titles on the line. The Rock and Roll Express to defend against the Nasty Boys right here on the Nation Network. The Boston Garden is rocking, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you that you're not going to find an empty seat around here.
Well, anytime the superstars of Saturday morning are on tour, it's always going to be a sold-out crowd. You've got to get your tickets very quick if you want to get inside the building.
And I can tell you, as much fun as it is to watch it here on the Nation Network, it is a totally different experience when it's live. We see the tag team champions, Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, already in the ring, and here come the men who will be trying to take those tag team titles away from them.
Well, I kind of like the Nasty Boys. They're a couple of rough street guys from New York. Here in Boston, not a real big difference, to be honest with you. Very similar in style. When you come from the streets, you have to grow up tough.
Well, you might say that Ricky and Robert grew up in the streets of Tennessee.
Yeah, where they don't wear shoes. Different world.
We'll see exactly how this all plays out. Anytime the titles are on the line, the champions have the advantage. However, they can still retain those titles with a countout or even a disqualification.
Yeah, and wouldn't that be the way these two dudes would go about keeping their tag team titles around their waist?
Well, actually, I highly doubt that would be likely to happen.
Is a tag team match set for one fall, and is for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of 253 pounds, and the Nasty Boys. And their opponents at a combined weight of 451 pounds, the WWE Tag Team Champions, Robert Gibson and Ricky Morgan, the Rockers.
All right, the introductions are over, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. Referee displaying the Tag Team Championship titles. They are on the line here in Boston. Almost a look of confidence from Robert Gibson here as the bell sounds.
Well, you know, there's one thing to be confident. There's another thing to be overconfident. And if I'm Robert Gibson, you better be real careful you don't cross that line. Not against these two dudes.
Gibson getting the better of Knobs early on, but it is indeed early on in this match. Let's see what happens as it progresses. Ricky Morton now bouncing the head of Knobs off the mat.
Yeah, that was a real friendly, rule-breaking kind of thing to do, wouldn't you say?
Well, it's definitely not breaking the rules whatsoever.
Yeah, but not quite the goody two-shoes that you would paint these boys out to be on a normal basis.
Well, listen, you're going up against the Nasty Boys. As you even mentioned, street-smart kind of tough, hard-nosed version of professional wrestling that borders on street fighting. Rock and Roll Express, they are the tag team champions. They've done their homework. They know what they're going to be in for tonight.
Right, so go ahead and poke the bear is what you're saying.
I'm saying better to do unto them before they do unto you.
Well, I hope you remember that as the night progresses, okay? I'll remind you of that.
Meantime, Gibson has Knobs back up. And thus far, Brian Knobs really has had no answer for the Rock and Roll Express. Tremendous job by the tag team champions, tagging in and out quickly. Here's that double roll through we've seen before by the Rock and Roll Express, snapping their opponent over, bouncing the back of the head off the mat. Now Gibson, or I beg your pardon, Ricky Morton attacking the leg.
Well, I'll give it to them right now. They are looking really good, and there seems to be a strategy here attacking the leg of Brian Knobs. I'm not sure if they know something we don't.
Figure four, leg locked on there by Ricky Morton, but reversed by Knobs. And he is definitely favoring the left knee after all those attacks. Had a chance right there to make the tag.
There's the tag.
Yeah, he's going to take advantage of it, but he's going to give back some of what he's been getting, which is the double team.
Well, indeed, 5 count to get out of the ring. And they are going to use every moment of that as now Sags, the legal man for the Nasty Boys, going for the cover. Morton is rolled over. There's a count of 2. Little closer than I was anticipating. And again, into the turnbuckle, quick tag made. Didn't give Knobs very much time to regain his composure.
Yeah, I would say Knobs might have wanted to stay outside just a little bit longer, but they know what they're doing. After all, they are the future tag team champions here tonight.
Well, that is to be seen, and right now it's Ricky Morton coming off the ropes for a cover of 2. And both teams have been within 1 second of winning this match. Another tag made, and again, the tag team champions have done the superior job, in my opinion, when it comes to keeping the fresh man in the ring. And Gibson gonna cut that ring in half one more time. Walks into a big elbow, courtesy of Knobs. Variation of a Samoan drop.
Smart move right there. Just turned the momentum all the way back into the favor of the Nasty Boys, and it allowed them to make the necessary tag.
Sags has him up in the air. What's he going to do with him? Brings Gibson over to the corner. What in the world? Oh, my goodness. Head first into the top turnbuckle. Gibson may be unconscious after that one. Sags sends him into the corner. Both teams really doing a good job of the double team usage. And now double doozle. Wow. Talk about some street warfare right there. The high-low attack on Robert Gibson, and he's definitely going to feel the ramifications of that one.
Hey, it's a Saturday morning. Try to keep the words down to 1 or 2 syllables if you can help it.
Not even going to dignify that with a response. Right now, Knobs sending Gibson into the corner. Tag is made. Big boot to the midsection. Gibson was left wide open on that one. Sags has him up against the ropes. What's he going to do with Gibson? Scoop up in the air. Oh, my goodness. He slams him but throws him into the ropes. And right now, Gibson desperately trying to make the tag to Ricky Morton, and he does.
Critical mistake right there by Sags, in my opinion. You never should have let that tag be made. You had him in trouble. You don't pay attention to these losers here at ringside.
Another tag coming up now. The boot is up. Oh, and Ricky Morton run head first into the boot of Knobs. At some point in time, you got to ask yourself the question, how much is enough? Sleeper hold is on, and Ricky Morton manages to fight his way out of it. This crowd here in Boston not liking the way things are going right now.
Well, yeah, the fans all love the Rock and Roll Express, especially the young girls. But the reality is pretty boys don't last long in this business. We'll see if they can get through the night.
Double team, back elbows, finding the market now. Look at that. Unlike what we saw moments ago by the Nasty Boys, Gibson not allowing the tag to be made.
Well, again, that's what you have to do if you want to win a match, and the Nasty Boys better take a page out of that book if they want to go on further here tonight.
Big save made. Sags felt his teammate might be in trouble. Has him up for a pile driver, perhaps. Yes, indeed. Oh, and he busted him open.
He dropped him right on the top of his head. He is bleeding right now. Goes for the cover. He grabs the ropes.
Man, that match will have been all over. Knobs able to grab the ropes. Lucky for him, the official saw it. Irish whip reversal, and now Gibson goes into the corner. Right in front of his tag team partner, Ricky Morton. Robert Gibson being pummeled. Choked out, if you will. Saturday morning superstars on display here at the Boston Garden, ladies and gentlemen. Shoulder tackle, and down goes Gibson. We've got more tag team action later tonight. The Wild Samoans, along with Captain Lou Albano. Since losing the tag team titles, we haven't seen a lot of Afonseca. They'll be going up against a couple of powerhouses indeed. And there's a cover of one. There's two. And oh, wow. Ricky Morton making the save. They'll be going up against a couple of powerful individuals. Hakeem and the Big Boss Man. Big knee right to the face. And now Sags in trouble, and down goes Sags. Gibson now coming over to make the tag to Ricky Morton, and that gets the fresh man back into the match.
Well, as much as it hurts me to admit it right now, the Rock and Roll Express are definitely doing a better job of the tag team aspect of tag team wrestling.
Rocker dropper right there by Ricky Morton. Normally that would have been followed up with a pin attempt. Here's a tag made now by the Rock and Roll Express, perhaps. We've seen it before. Can we see it again? There it is, a double drop kick, and that might be the match. Will they successfully defend?
Nope, too close to the corner. Knobs easily able to make the save.
And now Gibson, look at this. Talk about street fighting.
Yeah, how about it? I thought the marquee said professional wrestling. Now you're okay with street fighting. Boy, you turn around like the wind around this place.
Gibson continuing the assaults. And now from the middle ropes, drives a fist into the head of Sags. Will that be enough? He has accumulated a lot of damage, but still has enough to get the shoulder up.
Well, again, these two dudes are used to running the streets of New York City. They've been in some real tough barroom brawls, back alley brawls. This is nothing for them. A couple of twits from Tennessee, of all places, are not going to stop them.
Another tag made. Boy, the action here, ladies and gentlemen, as we see a bloody Knobs right there making the tag. Double team coming up once again. Nasty Boy send Gibson to the ropes. Up in the air, back body drop. He got some flight time on that one.
Yeah, he might have picked up some frequent flyer miles. Check his pockets for peanuts.
Going for the cover. There's two, and we have new. Oh my goodness, I thought we had new tag team champions.
Very, very close, and now all of a sudden it's starting to look like perhaps indeed we do have new tag team champions, as I predicted earlier on.
Another tag made, and Knobs coming in. You know, we've talked about it in the past, how somebody may react to the sight of blood, especially when it's their own. Oh, what a double team move right there. Unbelievable. That should be it. Ricky Morton making the save.
Yeah, now pretty boy Robert Gibson's been busted open as well, so now it's all even. And now you see the street fighting right here. Sags just pummeling Gibson, taking advantage of that open wound.
Indeed, that blood streaming into the eyes of both Gibson and Knobs at this point in time. Referee may have to get some medical intervention here to see if this match needs to continue. Gibson going for that figure four leg lock once again, has it cinched on. Here comes Sags to make the save. And now Gibson sends Sags to the corner. Meantime, Knobs, the legal man in the ring, referee, busy addressing Sags. What a move by Robert Gibson.
Knobs in trouble right now, and something's going to have to give.
That big rocker kick to the face. There's two. And they retain the Tag Team Championship here in the Boston Garden this week.
Well, I've got to say right now, as I'm a little surprised that the Rock and Roll Express were able to get past these dudes here tonight.
Well, they did get past them indeed. A tough challenge for the champions, but they rose to the occasion. Tag made right there. We see the double team and both teams taking full utilization of the 5 count throughout the match.
Well, it's there for a reason. You might as well use it. And as we look back at the replays of the action that took place in this match, there were plenty of moments. Here was a big one, the pile driver that split him wide open.
Gibson off that rope with a fist drop right to the forehead. Again, the double team action. This one right here would have ended the match if it were not for Ricky Morton. Look at that. And then finally, that big super kick right to the jaw. And down he goes. Referee there for the count. It's all over.
Here are your winners, and still WWE Tag Team Champions, Robert Gibson and Ricky Morgan, the Rocker.
The Rock and Roll Express go on to victory. We'll be back with more from the Garden. Stay with us.
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sports Stick. It provides maximum protection and the freshest scents, a sublime palette of odoriferous emanations. After all, a true artiste should be remembered for his inspiration, not his perspiration. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
All right, fans, we are back here live from the Boston Garden. Saturday Morning Superstars.
Is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Richmond, Virginia, weighing in at 250 pounds, Tony Axe Lex.
Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, into the ring, getting ready to continue the feud that he has had for weeks now with Nikolai Volkov.
Well, Nikolai Volkov has come on the scene and has definitely made Tony Atlas the target of his attention. But that's to be expected when you run around with the name Mr. USA. You're always going to have people that want to challenge that.
Some might say that would include you.
And his opponent.
Hey, when it comes to bodybuilding, that's why I am the body. There's nobody better than me. Atlas may look pretty good, but he doesn't look as good as I do.
Is that a fact?
Yeah, it's a fact. You can't see that for yourself. You better make yourself another optometry appointment, because Even Stevie Wonder can tell that I'm the best body in wrestling. How's that?
I'd say he's got some bad information, but that be it as it may. Nikolai Volkov coming down with a manager, of course, Grand Wizard, as well as the Iron Sheik. And that seems to be a little bit of an unfair advantage, I might say.
Why? They're going to be outside the ring. They're not doing anything. They're there to support their friend, their teammate.
Yeah, somehow I don't know that that's the way things are going to go down here with these two outside the ring. Tony Atlas has nobody accompanying him.
And it's their fault that he can't make friends?
I dare say Tony Atlas has a lot of friends. The bell sounds, action is underway, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen, from the Boston Garden here on Saturday Morning Superstars of Wrestling. Rear waistlock now by Atlas. When it comes to sheer strength and power, these men are very even, I would suggest, despite the fact that their builds are completely different.
Well, when you grow up in Russia and when you come from places that have places like Siberia, you have to be a different type of human being. You are made tough, you're made thick, you're made strong. And that right there is what we're looking at with Nikolai Volkov. He is a powerhouse, a Russian powerhouse. And I'll bet you anything, if the two of these guys went in the gym together, he would probably outbench Tony Atlas.
Wouldn't mind seeing that myself. That probably would be a very interesting battle. But right now we're talking about action inside the ring. A lot of different moving pieces. And there's the Iron Sheik. What in the heck is he doing? He just removed the turnbuckle pad.
I think he was trying to put it back on. It was loose, and it looks like it fell off. Now maybe the referee can put it on the right way.
You've got to be kidding me. Loose turnbuckle. Tony Atlas now with a top wrist lock. Go behind by Nikolai Volkov. Very good wrestling right here. We don't need the outside chicanery.
Well, the Grand Wizard right now paying close attention to every move right here. Very ethical man, the Grand Wizard.
Ethical? Are you kidding me?
No, not at all.
Big drop kick right there by Atlas puts Nikolai down. There's not one iota of ethics in the Grand Wizard. He'll do anything and everything to be victorious.
What's wrong with that? Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat.
Yeah, words to live by.
Absolutely.
Has him up in the air. And a big power slam. Tony Atlas lifting him up from a deadlift position, and that is a sign of pure strength. Comes off with a missile. Drop kick down goes Nikolai. Oh, wait a minute. Distracted, as I predicted, from behind by the Sheik and the Grand Wizard. And now Nikolai taking advantage of that distraction.
Whose fault is that? They're saying stuff. You hear the fans yelling all kinds of horrible things at Nikolai, but he's not paying them any attention. You have to be mentally secure in yourself to get through matches like this. This is what I was talking about earlier. Lifting the weights is one thing, but once you're inside the squared circle, that's just one small part of it. You've got to be mentally strong, and right now, Tony Atlas, I don't believe he is.
I believe he has a lot of help outside the ring, verbally and physically. And we've already seen it come to light here. Look at this, Tony Atlas, overhead press, slams the big Russian, goes for the pinfall. That might be it. 1, 2, he go.
2 3/4 count. Nikolai is in trouble right now, and he knows it.
Atlas is going to do it again. Look at this gorilla press overhead and just drops him. Will that be enough to secure the victory? Again, Nikolai gets the shoulder up. Wow, I'll tell you right now, Mr. USA turning it on in ways we haven't seen before.
Yeah, you're right about that, but at the same time, he hasn't been able to do anything about it. Now there's the big Russian bear hug.
Atlas is in trouble. Double clap of the ears gets him out of the bear hug, and just in the nick of time. Leapfrog nicely done. Catches him. Fall away power slam. And there's that standing flip. Nicely executed by Tony Atlas. The athleticism of Tony Atlas definitely going to be superior, in my opinion, to Nikolai Volkov.
I would disagree wholeheartedly with that. If you want to talk about acrobatics, then yeah, he has the advantage there, but athleticism, no.
Atlas from the middle rope. And that missile drop kick connecting once again. Follows it up with a flying elbow. Tony Atlas trying to put the big Russian away. But Volkov not done yet. Has him. Spine buster. Thought he was going for the bear hug again.
Spinebuster does more damage.
2 3/4 count. Atlas able to get that shoulder up. You're looking at a good 275, 280 of Nikolai Volkov as he just walked right across the midsection of Tony Atlas. And now Mr. USA with a power slam down courtesy of Nikolai.
Well, Atlas still finds a way to kick out time and time again, but you got to think that's starting to run low. He's on the reserve tank as far as I can tell.
Big knee drop by Nikolai Volkov coming off the ropes. Has Atlas up. Cross knee backbreaker. Oh, wow, and he just dropped him like a bad habit. Goes for the cover. Nikolai Volkov in control of 2 count. He got a win.
Well, guess what? I told you so.
Nikolai Volkov did enough damage to Mr. USA Tony Atlas to secure the victory. But I still say having the outside influence, the distraction, if you would.
And I tell you right now, Nikolai didn't allow himself to be distracted. There's the difference right there. Mental ability.
Well, nobody is going to doubt the abilities of Tony Atlas. Take a look at this. 300 pounds pressed overhead. And as you would always say, this is not barbell weight.
Well, no, and that was a tremendous physical feat. He pulled it off twice, and 2 times it wasn't enough for him to get the victory.
Here's that big spine buster that really shook the rafters here at the Boston Gardens. And from the top rope, driving the knee into the chest. That really drove the life out of Mr. USA. And from there, it was just a matter of finishing it up.
Here is your winner, Nikolai.
And he celebrates with his tag team partner, the Iron Sheik. And of course, their manager, the Grand Wizard. Ladies and gentlemen, stick around. More action to come here on Saturday morning.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has great genes.
Spice beef. Spice. Little excitement. Step into a Slim Jim. Little excitement. Step into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah.
We are back, fans, with more Saturday Morning Superstars coming to you live from the Boston Garden.
Is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Paris Island, South Carolina, weighing in at 306 pounds, Sergeant Slater.
Sergeant Slaughter along with his manager, the man we just saw victorious earlier, the Grand Wizard.
Well, the Grand Wizard right now has to be on cloud nine, getting that big win over Tony Atlas with his man Nikolai Volkov. And now to see him coming down here with Sergeant Slaughter, a little bit of an interesting scenario in the Grand Wizard's overall Armada makeup when you think about it.
How so?
Well, you got a Russian, you got an Iranian, now you've got a Marine drill sergeant. It's got to be interesting having Thanksgiving around the Wizard's table.
And his opponent from Glen Falls, New York, weighing in at 270 pounds, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan heading down to the ring with Old Glory over his shoulder as well.
Yeah, and then he's got that 2x4 weapon in his other hand. You want to explain how that's part of wrestling?
He's not using it.
Not yet.
Interesting how both of these men support the red, white, and blue, but in two totally different ways. Bell sounds, action's underway, and here we go. Sergeant Slaughter. Taking it to Hacksaw Jim Duggan early on in this one. No love lost between these two men, I can tell you that right now.
Well, when you're Sergeant Slaughter and you've got that long history, you're dealing with a bunch of young pukes coming into the Marines and you got to whip them into shape, you get used to this kind of behavior.
Back body drop at Slaughter all the way to the floor. He hit his head here on the Boston Garden floor. And now the tide has turned and Hacksaw Jim Duggan in complete control. Slaughter injured.
Referee should have disqualified Duggan for that one. That's not part of wrestling. You don't send a man over the top rope to land on a hard floor surface like that. That could be a career killer.
Indeed it could. Referee discretion, and apparently it is being deemed that it was Slaughter's own momentum that took him over.
Sure, that's how it worked. No problem. Remember that. I think Duggan might have some momentum issues later in the match. We'll see how it goes.
Slaughter has got him up, couldn't hold him, and dropped on his head, courtesy of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Duggan on the top rope now. Shoulder tackle. The drill sergeant down on the mat, shoulders to the mat, 2 count and almost. Hacksaw Jim Duggan thought he had him. Meantime, the Grand Wizard probably not so happy across the ring watching the action.
Like I said earlier, he has his men trained and prepared for every combat mission they go into. And when you're Sergeant Slaughter, you're well trained in combat.
Well, he's going to need that training because Duggan just dropped him. Big clothesline by the Glens Falls native. Nice cross ankle sweep that time. And Sergeant Slaughter, what's he got in mind? Slaughter putting the boots right now to Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Boy, these two guys really laying it in. Head first into the turnbuckle. Slaughter putting Duggan up on the top rope. And now takes him down. Follows it up with a flying elbow. And Duggan in trouble right now.
As I said before, Sergeant Slaughter, he knows how to take you behind the woodshed and beat some sense into you. That's exactly what's happening right here with Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Drops that elbow again, does Slaughter. Grand Wizard's man is back in control, and he's got to be happy about that. Nobody home. Slaughter charging into the turnbuckle, and nobody there. Now I can see the Grand Wizard in the background, not very happy with the way things are going. Duggan has him up in the air. Big free fall slam. Has a 2 count, and Slaughter just barely able to get out the back.
Sergeant Slaughter is a tough guy, though. He's able to absorb a lot of punishment. In my opinion, he's going to come back bigger, tougher, and stronger, and I still believe he's going to win this match.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan going to work on Sergeant Slaughter now, hammering away with the right hands. And Slaughter in trouble now. The Grand Wizard once again. What is he doing on the apron?
He was trying to get the attention of the referee, I believe. And now look at this again. Duggan, you're going to tell me about momentum on that one?
Well, there was plenty of momentum once that clothesline connected with the jaw of Sergeant Slaughter, but how could you miss that target? Slaughter and Duggan now battling it out here on the floor at the Garden. The Boston faithful watching on intently, as is the Grand Wizard. These two men better pay attention to the referee's count before they find themselves counted out. Slaughter beats the count, and Duggan beats the count.
Talk about burying the headline. The big headline is that the Boston fans were able to count to 9. Will they have made it to 10? Who knows?
Indeed. Slaughter goes for the cover. Hacksaw Jim Duggan kicking out with authority on that one.
We'll see how much authority he has when Slaughter puts that Cobra clutch on him, and I believe it's just a matter of time.
Oh, you called it. There it is. From the grounded position, not the way we're used to seeing it. Referee to ask Duggan if he wants to surrender. Slaughter release the hold.
He can put him away anytime he wants now, and he knows that he wants to put out some more punishment. This is how they do it in the Marine barracks. Not that you would know about that.
2 count, and again Duggan able to get a shoulder up, and Slaughter is not happy. Frustration setting in on Sergeant Slaughter as he brings Hacksaw Jim Duggan back in the hard way. Into the corner, Duggan in trouble. Slaughter this time, he hits the target. Hooks the leg. That might be all she wrote for Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And indeed, Sergeant Slaughter with a very impressive victory over Hacksaw Jim Duggan here at the Boston Garden.
Well, I'll say this much right now. The Grand Wizard has more than earned his money here tonight. All of his men are coming up victorious. Doesn't look good for Andre the Giant, though, does it?
Well, indeed, if this momentum continues going in this direction, it could be a massive problem for Andre. There's a slam. There were moments where it looked like Hacksaw Jim Duggan had Sergeant Slaughter down and out, but Slaughter, to his credit, would not stay down. He came back time and time again with victory after victory.
Well, as I said before, when you're a Marine drill instructor, you can't let one of the pukes get the upper hand on you. You not only have to teach them a lesson, you've got to teach a lesson that everyone else learns.
Big victory for that man right there, Sergeant Slaughter. Here's part of Saturday Morning Superstars coming in from the Boston Garden. Fans, stay with us. We'll be back. Plenty more action still to come.
There's only one man who can tell the world all that goes on in pro wrestling.
I'm Captain Lou, and I'm talking to you about the world of pro wrestling. Call me. I'm telling you, this number's for you. Come on, you raised a great son. There'll be no more calls for you, Lou. My boys and I are taking you in. Get it. Come on. I got a right to make one phone call, and so do you.
Lou Albano's Wrestling Hotline, available until further notice or a hearing. Call now, $1.50 for the first minute, 35 cents each additional minute.
All right, fans, we are back in what promises to be a very interesting matchup here. Man who's recently come on the scene. He is a big, powerful individual, Gorilla Monsoon.
Making his way to the ring from Rochester, New York, weighing in at 285 pounds, Gorilla Monsoon.
Well, I'll say one thing for Gorilla Monsoon. He is a big, powerful force. Not exactly the most technically sound individual, but when you come in with his statistics, over 300 plus pounds, coming in at about 6'7", he is a monster among men. And I'll tell you right now, I don't care who you are, you're going to have a tough night. But I think for Peter Maivia, it's even going to be tougher because Peter Maivia, not exactly the biggest guy in the locker room. Sure, he's got a very impressive win-loss record here, but I'll be surprised if he can get past this.
Well, the High Chief has proven time and time again that he rises to the challenge. And wow, what a challenge he has to rise to here. Gorilla Monsoon. And here comes the opposition, the High Chief, Peter Maivia.
And his opponent from the Isle of Samoa, weighing in at 275 pounds, High Chief Peter Maivia.
As the High Chief makes his way down the aisle, you see the tattoos.
He's got a lot of those on there.
Part of their custom, the tribal artwork, representing their rank throughout their system over the years. And in this case, Peter Maivia being the High Chief. Bell's gonna ring. Here we go. Action underway. And Gorilla Monsoon starting things off with a back heel kick. And that one definitely finds the mark. Monsoon pushing the 400-pound mark right now and just drops all that weight on the back of High Chief Peter Maivia. Monsoon outweighing Maivia by close to 100 pounds. Has a good, I would say, 12-inch height advantage. I don't even know what the reach looks like in that. And look at Monsoon choking him out right here. Referee standing by.
Well, he's counting to 5 in his head, I'm sure, because that's how long before you get yourself disqualified. But the referee's trying to stay out of this one. I can't blame him. I don't know if this referee wants any part of Gorilla Monsoon.
And now reversal. High Chief Peter Maivia sending Monsoon back into the ring. Monsoon has him up in a bear hog. This one could be over very quickly. The High Chief driving the elbows into the side of the head. Claps the ears and Monsoon releasing the hold.
Yeah, now look at this. Now he wants to rethink things because his attack had no effect on Gorilla Monsoon. No big surprise there. Monsoon is so much more powerful.
Charging into the corner is Gorilla Monsoon. Oh, the High Chief right now is being brutalized by the bigger opponent. Drives him into the top turnbuckle. And now Monsoon going for the cover, does not hook the leg.
Well, take a look right there. The High Chief, Peter Maivia, he kicked out, but not exactly the way you would say with authority, huh?
No, the High Chief right now is in a lot of trouble as he got sent over the top rope, crashing to the floor, holding his head. I don't know, he may have struck something on the way down.
Might have caught the edge of the apron, and that's bad news if that happens.
Monsoon now has got the High Chief. Throws him in under the bottom rope, and now Monsoon follows him back in. Gorilla Monsoon targeting the arm of the High Chief. I'll tell you, I've not seen Peter Maivia manhandled this way, I don't believe, ever.
Yeah, to this point in time, I've never seen anybody give him the kind of challenge he's getting from Gorilla Monsoon.
Comes up with a headbutt, however, does the High Chief, and now bouncing the back of the head of Gorilla Monsoon off the apron, or off the mat, I should say. And a big fist drop to follow it up, and now look at this, the High Chief hammering away on Gorilla Monsoon.
Every one of those was a clinch fist. You might want to make mention of that.
And here's the submission hold that has brought him so much luck in the past.
Yeah, he was trying to stretch out Gorilla's leg, and I'll tell you what, even though it didn't get him the win, it might have done some damage to the leg of Gorilla Monsoon.
And now the High Chief got a 2 count. Monsoon looks furious as he gets back up into this fight.
Personally, I would have liked to see Gorilla head outside the ring and perhaps just buy himself a few moments, assess the damage that may have been done to that leg. You could have a lot of adrenaline running through you right now that doesn't let you know that you're injured, and you're putting yourself in a bigger problem.
Astute observation by my colleague. Monsoon down. Oh, wait a moment. The giant swing! And this one's going to be over.
Yeah, we haven't seen anybody get up from this one before. When you want to talk about disoriented, right now, the High Chief has no idea where he is.
He got a shoulder up, and Monsoon can't believe it. Gorilla Monsoon has hit him with everything he's got, and yet the High Chief, Peter Maivia, is still going. Drops him across the top rope, and now Monsoon, what's he gonna do?
He hits the ropes. Nobody home.
The High Chief moving out of the way just in the nick of time. Maivia tying up on the ropes now with Gorilla Monsoon. Has him down. Stomp to the midsection.
You know, Peter Maivia is one of those dudes, and you don't see a lot of them anymore, but they feel comfortable wrestling without any boots on. I don't think I could do that.
To me, it seems like it opens you up to a scenario where you're more likely to be injured.
Yeah, you've got zero protection on your feet. The action takes place on the floor sometimes. You don't know what's out there from previous matches, perhaps.
Maivia trying once again to get a submission from the big Gorilla Monsoon, but not happening. As Monsoon just popped him way up in the air and dropped him like a bad habit. Wow, what a side suplex that time. Monsoon wrapping himself completely around the body and now choking him out in the corner. Took advantage again of that 5 count, did Gorilla Monsoon. Continues to choke him out. Monsoon with a boot right to the midsection, walks that one off. Off the ropes, Gorilla with a splash. 400 pounds coming down on the chest, and he's still able to kick out.
The High Chief right now better figure a way to turn this momentum around. Well, that's it. Never mind.
The giant swing is on again, and Gorilla Monsoon has completely dominated the High Chief Peter Maivia here at the Boston Garden and secures a very impressive victory.
Big win indeed, and the High Chief doesn't look too happy about it. Too bad.
We'll be back. Stay with us.
Sidney Sweeney has very Keynes.
Well, let me tell everybody something. America is back. 2024 was a great year. And in 2025, we made the decision to make America great again. And what better way? With real American beer. We're bringing America back together in 2025 with real American beer. So what you gonna do when real American beer and all my Hulkamaniacs run wild on you?
All right, fans, still buzzing here about that last one. Gorilla Monsoon getting a big victory indeed.
Introducing first, from Cobb County, Georgia, weighing in at 332 pounds, the Boss Man!
And the Big Boss Man heading to the ring for a matchup that I've got to tell you, I'm very curious to see. Fans are going to have to pick them here tonight because I don't think that either of these tag teams are particularly liked here in Boston.
Well, again, nobody really cares about the fans and who they like and don't like. At the end of the day, shut up, pay your ticket, and sit down and watch the matches.
And his partner,
Dare say it's a little bit more than just that.
weighing in at 450 pounds, One Man Gang!
Well, the man formerly known as the One Man Gang, now going by the name Akeem. Apparently has some African heritage, he has discovered.
Yeah, I can see it a little bit around the eyes.
I'm sure you can. Akeem, the African Dream. And these two gentlemen are going to be going up against a couple of guys who have definitely been a tag team for quite some time. The brothers Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans, along with their manager, Captain Lou Albano. We see the Grand Wizard and all the accolades that have been going his way tonight. Captain Lou, on the other hand, has not had such a good run of luck here on Saturday mornings as of late.
Well, indeed, former tag team champions is a title that he doesn't like. He likes the tag team champions. And this is his opportunity to get them back in the winning ways, and they need this victory very badly.
See the captain jawing it up with some of the ringsiders here. Alpha and Sika. Couple of headhunters if ever there were one. Not the two guys you would ever want to be meeting in a dark alley, I promise you that.
And again, much like the High Chief earlier on, a couple of guys that prefer to wrestle without boots on. Now, if I'm the Big Boss Man and I'm Akeem, I'm looking at that. That's a target. I'm stomping on toes.
It would be well within the rules.
100%. You choose not to wear protection, that's on you.
The Big Boss Man starting this one off. Not sure exactly what that was. Looked like it was a nerve pinch. Didn't have a very good hold of anything. Boss Man now, though, stomping away. Samoa and Sika down. Look at the Big Boss Man making it look easy.
Well, one thing I can tell you 100% for sure, when you're getting in the ring with the Wild Samoans, there is nothing about that will be easy.
Tag made, and now we get our first look here at Akeem. Irish whip sends him over the top rope to the apron. Oh, what a move right there by Sika. Snapping his head and neck down and across the top rope, but Akeem right back for more. Looked like he was trying to make the tag. Boy, have you ever seen Sika or either of the Samoans manhandled the way they are right now?
No, I haven't. That's actually what I've been observing right now, is the fact that Sika had a look of surprise on his face, like he wasn't ready for what's coming his way. I'll say this right now, the Samoans are very used to being the big tough guys in the match, and they don't have that advantage here, not by a long shot.
Well, that doesn't take away from the big or the tough. However, as we've learned over the history of time, sometimes when a bully finally walks up to someone his equal or greater, they're not quite the same as they were before.
I don't know that I'd go so far as to call the Samoans bullies. They're just tough Samoans, and they've always managed to get big victories in moments like this.
Uppercut, down he goes. These two big men, the Boss Man and Akeem. A couple of twin towers, you might say. There's a pile driver. And Alpha finally coming out with some offense here, but it's been all Boss Man and Akeem up until this point. Albano barking instructions up at his man. Alpha now coming up with a series of headbutts, and that's rocking the Big Boss Man, grabbing his nose. He may have broke it.
Well, similar as a match we saw earlier tonight with Sergeant Slaughter, you've got the Big Boss Man, who's a man who was in charge of a correctional facility, one of the toughest blocks in the place in Atlanta, Georgia.
Actually, it was Cobb County, Georgia, as I understand it.
Wherever. Bottom line is, when you're in charge of a bunch of convicts, much like Slaughter was in charge of a bunch of pukes, you got to make sure you send the message out, and it's got to be loud and clear to everyone involved so the next guy doesn't try it. And right now, the Samoans starting to have belief that they can win this match, and that's a dangerous place to be if you're the Big Boss Man or Akeem.
Rolls him over for the cover, doesn't hook the leg, and you hear Albano barking instructions. I think one of them might have been to hook the leg.
Well, if you're not going to listen to your manager, then why do you have him there?
In the past, you've had managers.
Yeah, Classy Freddie Blassie, one of the best. Won a lot of matches, didn't I?
Indeed you did. Irish whip reversal into the turnbuckle. Oh, what a back-savant kick right to the chin. And the Boss Man is in a lot of trouble. Akeem watching on with concern.
Justifiable concern, I would say.
Akeem has to come in and make the save. Oh, man, the Big Boss Man at this point in time. There's the tag. Might even say the desperation tag. Look at this. Sika trying to get Akeem up, perhaps with a Samoan drop, but that's not going to happen. And instead, gets dropped himself.
Happened to catch the look on Albano's face as his tag team starting to fall apart again. They had a good few moments, but now I think the talent of Akeem and Big Boss Man is starting to come to the top.
Oh, big headbutt. That'll take care of it. Akeem in trouble. He is rocked after that headbutt. He's biting him.
Yeah, he's biting him right on the bridge of the nose, and the referee doesn't do anything about it. Now, I don't want to hear nothing when Akeem and the Boss Man repay the favor because it's only a matter of time.
He's got him up in the air. And slam. Akeem to the canvas. Will that be enough? Boss Man has to make the save. Sika trying to chase the Big Boss Man down, but couldn't get there in time. Now back to Akeem as he works on the arm. Another headbutt right to the shoulder.
Well, the one thing I have to say for the Samoans, and it's not for any reason other than the fact it's the truth, these two dudes are just plain tough. They're a different kind of tough. You could probably drive a car in here, run them over, and they'd still get up and fight you.
Definitely not suggesting that anybody do that. Oh, look at Akeem with a headbutt.
Now, that's not something we're used to seeing, somebody using a headbutt against the Samoans and having any level of success.
Boss Man now following him over to the corner. Big right hand. Has him up. Atomic knee drop. The Boss Man has worn him down quite a bit. Sika in the corner. Albano watching on along with Alpha. What's going to happen here? He comes charging in and he connects. Big Boss Man with a splash. Hook and a leg. There's one. There's two. Save made.
Alpha comes in just in the nick of time to make the save, but I'll tell you, you don't have too many of those in you.
Crowd here in Boston chanting tag team wrestling. Indeed, we are seeing two of the best here on Saturday Morning Superstars, and the Boss Man deposits him on the apron. Headbutt by Sika here on the floor. This one is breaking down in the Garden.
Referee doing everything he can to maintain order. There are those that would advocate for having two referees in a tag team matchup. One for inside, one for outside.
What are your thoughts about that?
I look at it this way. Referees tend to miss a lot just in general, so to put two of them out there means they're going to miss twice as much.
Only from the mind to the body.
That's why I'm the man who calls it like it is.
The sledgehammer. Into the top turnbuckle he goes. Nice tag right there, perfectly timed, and now the Samoans. Double headbutt. Might have knocked him out with that one. There's the count of one, and a save by the Big Boss Man, and the match continues. Oh, Akeem like a freight train. Alpha in trouble. Back body drop down. He goes. Oh, he's right back up. Tried to head off Akeem before he got out of the ring. Look at the Big Boss Man now clubbing. German suplex took him all the way over.
Alpha just really got rocked by that one. A lot of momentum on that move. Centrifugal force. With a very sudden stop, and I'll tell you, that's going to rattle the bones of his ancestors.
Boss Man with another big splash goes for the cover, but he's really close to the corner of the Samoans.
Well, if I'm the boss man, I'm going for another pinfall as quickly as possible right now because the Samoan's in a lot of trouble.
Double axe handle across the back of the boss man, using the ropes to help pull himself back up here. Oh, he's biting him off, a bite in the face of the big boss man. Second time he's been on the receiving end of that one. Tag is made. Sika now legal for the Wild Samoans. Oh, the boss man with a boot to the face. How much more can these two teams possibly tolerate? There's a double team coming up now. Hakeem and the boss man send him to the ropes. Back body drop. Once again, the Samoans not used to being on the receiving end of this type of punishment. And now words being exchanged between Hakeem and Captain Lou Albano, allowing for Sika to get back up and take advantage. Here's a headbutt. Hakeem is down. There's a choking him out right there in the corner.
Referee at a far distance. I'll tell you, he needs to get up close and get involved in those moments.
Another double team coming up here by the Samoans. Double noggin knocker. And a 2 count. The big boss man tried to make the save, but got intercepted. And now Samoan drop on the boss man.
Yeah, but he's not the legal man in the match.
Another one. Wait a moment. Hakeem fighting his way out of it. Oh, this crowd on its feet at the garden, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, power bombed him into the turnbuckle. His head struck at least the second and third turnbuckle on the way down. He must be concussed.
If he wasn't before, he is now. Dropped him down across that guardrail. That hardwood railing that surrounds the ring here at the Boston Garden. Oh, this crowd was really coming to life there for a moment. We saw the tag team champions earlier tonight defend those titles. There are those that would say the winner of this match should be next in line. Big right hand, nicely done. Stretching him out. Headbutt, nicely done again. And Alpha starting to take control back of this match. Off the ropes. Stiff kick right to the face. Hakeem dragging himself over to the ropes. And perhaps there's a tag made to the boss man.
See, here's where the Samoans will always come up short. They lack in brain power. He turned his attention away from the legal man, and now he's got to deal with this instead.
Boss man splash off the middle rope. Oh, big up kick. Oh, from behind, a cheap shot. There's a cover. There's one. There's two. Will it be enough? No. Alpha unloading right now, and the big boss man has him rolled up. Shoulders are down. Reversal, and again. Oh, this one is going the distance, ladies and gentlemen. What is it going to take to keep one of these teams down? I have no idea. You see the welts on the body of Sika here, showing the type of match this has been.
Well, that's not to say they don't have the same welts on their opponents, but they're wearing shirts that you can't tell.
Big super kick right to the chin, and now choking him out. Alpha doing what the Samoans do best. Off the ropes. Wait a minute. Second thought, just comes over and kicks him right in the chest, and the big boss man being pulverized. Oh, hold on just a moment. Boss man decides to get out of the ring. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, he tried to get away from that one by rolling outside, but then the Samoan just changed direction and still made him pay the price.
Devastating headbutt. Sika's in full control right now. Working the head and neck as the referee watches on. What a match we have seen between these two teams, ladies and gentlemen. Headbutt, nobody home. Tag is made, and now Hakeem running. Elbow drop finds the mark. Another big elbow drop. Down for the count. There's one. And another elbow drop. And the 3 count. Oh my.
Well, it took everything they had and then some. I'll tell you, Hakeem, I was just watching intently here towards the end. There was a moment where it looked like the Samoans were going to pull it out, handing out Samoan drops to everybody. But then we saw how that turned out.
Well, I believe that the size and more particularly the weight advantage may have proven to be a little too much for the Wild Samoans. And how often can you ever say that?
Well, I'll say this right now, Captain Lou Albano not real happy that another loss coming his way.
That big elbow drop, my goodness. 400 plus pounds driving into the chest.
The Boss Man and One Man Gang.
These Twin Towers with a victory, ladies and gentlemen. Impressive one at that. If you're the Rock and Roll Express, you better pay attention. We'll be back with more from the Boston Garden here on Saturday Morning Superstars.
You gotta love new WWF figures with real wrestling action. Jake the Snake Roberts versus the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Yeah. DiBiase lands a $1 Million punch. Match Hulk Hogan against the Macho King Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah, my almost missed will finish Hogan guaranteed. Hogan slams him again. Match Andre the Giant against the Ultimate Warrior. Andre will squash the Ultimate Maniac. WWF figures so close to the real thing, it's like being in the ring.
All right, fans, it is time for the main event. Andre the Giant, the ninth wonder of the world, as he heads to the ring, has had an ongoing feud
The following contest is a
with Abdullah the Butcher.
match. Making his way to the ring from Grenoble, France, weighing in at 520 pounds, the eighth wonder of the world, Andre the Giant.
Well, one thing I'll say about Andre the Giant, having been in the ring with him on more than one occasion, you're never going to be standing across the ring from anybody that's more intimidating than him. When you look up and you see a guy that's over 7 foot tall, 500 plus pounds, and know that you're the target of his attention, it's pretty damn humbling, I don't mind telling you.
And his opponent from Sudan, weighing in at 360 pounds, the Butcher.
Abdullah the Butcher was brought in for one purpose and one purpose only. And that is to eliminate Andre the Giant. However, the last time that these two men met at Madison Square Garden over a month ago, it was a most unique outcome.
Well, yeah, they went up to the top rope, came down and literally destroyed the entire ring. There was no winner declared in that one. Won't happen here tonight. They may bring the ring down again. It won't matter because this match only ends when one man cannot continue.
Indeed, last man standing against a couple of giants in the history of professional wrestling. Andre now with Abdullah the Butcher up against the ropes. Oh, and he just threw the big man who comes in at 400 pounds at least. And now Andre using a kendo stick, 2 swings and broke it over him.
Well, that shows you what I was mentioning earlier about the power of Andre the Giant. Normally those kendo sticks, you'll see people whack away 5, 6, 7 times and they don't break. Andre, 2 swings and it's in pieces.
Abdullah the Butcher is a man who absolutely has no respect for the rules of professional wrestling. This match plays to his strengths. However, when you're going up against nearly 7 foot plus, 500 pounds, and look at this. When has Abdullah ever hit an opponent like that where they didn't go down? Andre with the butterfly. Suplex takes him over. Abdullah rolling out to the floor. Probably not the best place to be because if Andre gets you there, already the referee starts to count, but it's a little early in the match for a 10 count.
Well, this feud has been going on for over a month and a half now. We know they have another return match signed for Madison Square Garden.
Well, that's assuming that one of them is capable of competing after this match. Last man standing could be a career ender. Again, the clothesline, and Andre does not go down. Comes back with one devastating shot, and down goes Abdullah the Butcher. Andre just drilled that knee into the head, and Abdullah the Butcher is busted open.
Well, that's a familiar sight when it comes to an Abdullah the Butcher match. You see the scar tissue on his head. He's no stranger to these types of matches whatsoever.
Blood streaming down the face of Abby right now as Andre ties up with him. The madman from Sudan in trouble. Big slam again by Andre the Giant, making it look effortless.
You know, we keep on saying it. Look at this. Holy cow.
Andre the Giant just pressed him overhead and slammed him down. That might be enough. And now Andre got caught with a clothesline, but still will not go down. Couldn't hold the weight this time, and now Abdullah has Andre over the shoulder. Running power slam.
And just like that, he takes Andre the Giant off his feet. Now he's got to keep him down. That's the secret. That's the secret to success if you're Abdullah the Butcher.
Series of headbutts now by Abdullah the Butcher.
Not necessarily the smartest thing to do when you're already busted open. You're only making your own problems worse.
And now looking for some retribution. He's got a kendo stick of his own, but Andre the Giant says, I don't think so. Andre with a headbutt and then hurls him across the ring. Abdullah able to answer the count of 3.
See, even that's a mistake in my opinion. If you can get up for 3, wait till 8. Get the extra break right now because you are the one who needs it the most.
Andre from the corner. What's he going to do here? Oh, no! 500 pounds into the chest of Abdullah the Butcher. I think I saw the spirit leave his body.
Abdullah's in a whole world of trouble right now, but somehow there's still life left in him.
Andre continuing the assault. Oh, he's got another kendo stick. Right across the head, and Abdullah tries to get back up.
And once again, he got back up way too soon. Take some time, relax. Regain your composure. You don't have to get right back into the fight.
The whole ring just jumped about 4 inches in the air. Abdullah and Andre battling it out here. Scoops him up in the air. Power slam by Andre the Giant. A blood-stained Abdullah the Butcher being helped back to his feet by Andre the Giant. Another headbutt.
Well, Andre's doing everything he needs to do in this match. He's got the fight in his advantage. He keeps the pressure on Abdullah. The moment he starts to move, Andre's right back on top of him. And there's another big slam. And you see Abdullah now favoring his back as well.
A bloody Abdullah the Butcher. Back to his feet again. Andre with a headbutt to the shoulder. Another headbutt. On its own, you would not think that move would be enough to end this match, but when you look at the cumulative damage that Abdullah has sustained in this match, you start to realize that what would normally be considered basic might just be the last straw. And he's got Andre down for the first time in this match.
Yeah, but unlike Andre knew when to celebrate and when not to.
Abdullah's head just hit the steel post. And Andre, back body drop. Oh my goodness, got caught up in the ropes. Abdullah now going to try and take advantage with a splash.
400 plus pounds coming off the rope. Down on the prone body of Andre the Giant. That was after taking that very awkward back body drop where his feet got caught up on the ropes.
Andre again over to Abdullah the Butcher. Big knee lift.
Yeah, Abdullah, you see how Andre's celebrating now when it's a little bit more safe to do so. Abdullah is celebrating when Andre's able to get right back up and in his face.
There's a shot right there by Abdullah the Butcher. Keep in mind, everything legal in this match. And we know when you make that type of consolation with a man like Abdullah the Butcher, what you see right now is what you'll get. Choking about in the corner, and there is no rules against it.
Well, both men knew what they were getting into. Look at Abdullah driving the forearm into the back of the head of Andre the Giant. Wow, I'll tell you, this is really getting ugly.
Andre slowly getting back up now. Oh, big body block, and down goes Abdullah. Andre. Oh, he had thoughts of coming off the ropes, I believe. Changed his mind. And Abdullah taking advantage of that distraction. Turns him over. Boston Crab. There's no submissions. A submission will mean nothing here.
Nobody could do the damage. That's all that matters, is how much damage was just done to the back of Andre the Giant.
Abdullah unloading, and Andre responds with a big shot to the midsection. Has him up again. Cross knee backbreaker. Andre standing over his opponent. To their credit, ladies and gentlemen, both these men have been answering a count of 3 and 4, but no later than that for the most part. Case in point, how he's not down for a count of 8 or 9 is beyond me. Andre the Giant going underneath the ring with a sledgehammer.
And again, it's all legal, and this does not have to take place inside the ring.
You can be counted out even here on the floor. Abdullah the Butcher manages to get back up with some strong words for the official, it appears. He may not be happy about something that's happening here, but how can you blame the referee in a no disqualification match? Andre just got hit right there. And again, Abdullah the Butcher looking to celebrate.
Well, he better wait to see what he has when he turns around, because Andre was right there waiting on him. That was a tremendous mistake, but he's maybe able to turn it around anyway.
Indeed he does, and Abdullah the Butcher this time with a power slam. Andre favoring the lower back. And that is the longest Andre has been kept down in this match thus far. Big right hand, and Andre the Giant has got the Sedan Madman not only up, but driven down into the canvas.
Andre needs to follow it up, though. This celebrating stuff has to stop. Just because the man's down, that doesn't mean you can't keep on pummeling him.
Somehow this match feels like it could only take place in the Boston Garden.
Well, definitely the right setting from my standpoint as well.
Oh, wait. Abdullah, he's getting up in a pile driver. Andre, no, not going to have it.
That might have been the match if he would have hit with that one.
And now Andre shoots him to the rolls. Big boot right to the face. Again, why Andre the Giant is not following up, I have no idea. Clothesline, and this time Andre goes down. Big splash.
See, that's a smart move right there by Abdullah. He didn't wait for the referee's count. He put out a second big hit, and Andre's all of a sudden in a whole world of trouble, and we might have a big win.
Abdullah the Butcher, the first man in the match to use the logic of multiple attacks. Andre using the top rope for added leverage. Look at him. Gonna try and separate that shoulder. And Abdullah up across the back of Andre the Giant. Drop across the top rope. Big right hand. And now Andre the Giant has got Abdullah. Ooh, wow, heavy forearm across the chest. Another big knee lift. Abdullah the Butcher wasn't in bad enough shape as it was. Now the blood really flowing, and Andre right back on top of him, does not give him a moment's rest.
Well, that's the one thing I've said about it before, and I'll say it again. Andre's done a great job of that, but like right now, if I were Andre, I'd be stomping him. I'd be dropping the big elbow on him.
And somehow Abdullah continues to get up on a count of 3.
He's getting up on a count of 1, but that's a mistake.
Andre sending him into the corner. Big headbutt by Andre the Giant. Oh, wait a moment. We saw this earlier. If he does it again now, I believe the match will be over.
I don't know if he can survive another one. 500 pounds down on the chest.
Normally, Andre may just stay sitting there for the count of 10, but in this match, you can't be on your opponent in order for the count to continue. Any physicality will stop the count. And yet Abdullah able to get up on a count of 5. I can't believe this match is still going on.
I can't believe they've only used one kendo stick.
Oh, that count getting deeper and deeper. And Abdullah the Butcher shot off the ropes back out front. Andre, the immovable object. Ninth wonder of the world is in control. Abdullah stirs and gets up for the count of 5. Andre has him up in the air. What is he doing? What is it? Oh, my goodness.
He just dropped him straight down on top of his head. That's got to be it.
The Boston crowd on its feet after that one. Abdullah has not moved.
He's not going to.
What a finish, ladies and gentlemen. Andre the Giant victorious. Oh my goodness, what a finish. As we take a look back, there was one, and there was 2 hits of the kendo stick that shattered early in the match. Fans, I'll tell you right now, I've seen everything. What a match between these 2 men. Andre continues his unbeaten streak.
Well, it was a back and forth battle all the way. Andre had the early on advantage, but then Abdullah started finally to come back with some of his own. Again, I'm very surprised in Abdullah that he didn't use any real foreign objects or anything that he's known for. I would have thought he would have gone after steel chairs.
Look at that move right there, ladies and gentlemen. That would be the end of Abdullah the Butcher.
Here is your winner, the 8th wonder of the world, Andre the Giant.
All right, fans from Boston Garden, Saturday Morning Superstars on the Nation Network. So long, everyone.